let's talk about regulation, Mike, because the Trump government, let's call it the current administration, has determined that they need to create regulation for this. It's been too much of the Wild West. And then the counter to that is, okay, once it's regulated, it's mainstream. That's what regulation does. It makes it mainstream because it's now being watched and overseen and so forth and so on. And then they're talking about creating some type of reservoir or reserve of Bitcoin as part of a United States sovereign fund. And don't let that scare people who are listening to that. Lots of countries in the world have sovereign funds. Sovereign just means it's a country fund. Saudi Arabian sovereign fund, a French sovereign fund. There'll be a U.S. sovereign fund, and that would invest in companies or invest in assets as well, whatever they decide to do. So what is going on? What has to happen for this to become more legitimate or mainstream, or basically everybody's portfolio at 3 to 5%?
Yeah, I think, and just to level set, our strategy with the regulators has always been to be more collaborative than combative. We have engaged with regular conversations with our regulators for a long time about this specific space and offering up education on everything that we're doing, certainly, but then because all of our constructs are built in a regulatory compliant way, so we want to make sure the regulators understand exactly what it is that we're doing. I think that it's an apolitical statement to say that we have entered a more crypto-friendly regime. And I think that in the past, the SEC, for example, is designed to protect American shareholders. And as they've thought about this asset class in this space and have taken time to be able to come up with a comprehensive set of rules around it, what's happened is that a lot of the development in this space has actually moved offshore and moved to other markets where there's certain other regulators who've been super fast to adopt new regulations. But it feels to us like right now we're entering this kind of transformative time. I mean, you mentioned the crypto reserve. It's not just Bitcoin. It's also Ethereum, Solana, XRP, a couple other assets. And then there's a lot of other things happening. And there's things happening, I think, that are beneath the surface that people don't really talk enough about. For example, there was this accounting bulletin that came out called SAB 121, which basically said that anybody who custodied crypto had to one-for-one that asset in dollars on their balance sheet, which basically makes custodying crypto a really, really difficult business to make money in, makes it borderline non-economic, and like I said, really, really hard to step into. Well, a lot of those rules are starting to change. And I think as the rules around custody change, I think that's going to be a huge, huge change in the overall way that we think about this space in this market and in this country.